question. Give an account of forest resource in Andhra Pradesh and highlight initiatives of the AP government. So here the question says give an account of forest resource in the Andhra Pradesh. It all give an account means it is also asking you some kind of reason behind it. Okay, why such kind of forest resources present in Andhra Pradesh? Okay, even though it is not a very bigger keyword, let's say if the keyword is analyze, you have to give very detailed analysis. Since it is a given account of forest resource, or else let's say given account of mineral resource, some brief understanding, some brief background, some brief concept why such kind of forest resource is present in the Andhra Pradesh can be highlighted along with the distribution and highlight various initiatives of the AP government. Here it is asking just highlight various initiatives. It is not asking analyze or else discuss, critically evaluate various initiatives taken by the government. It is simply asking you to highlight. Okay, you have to just list down. Okay, to have to give the major initiatives taken by the Andhra Pradesh government. So what would be the introduction for this? See, vegetation. The state has a variety of vegetation type. Okay, it is depending upon the varying topography. Okay, the varied topography ranging from the hills of eastern Ghats and Nallamala to the shores of the Bengal supported various ecosystems. Okay, you can use this thing, or else you can say, okay, depending upon the topography, Andhra Pradesh can be divided into 4 biogeographic regions because of the climatic factors and the biogeographic factors like say topography, slope, and all these things. Andhra Pradesh has a diverse type of the vegetation. Okay, you can use such kind of introduction because if you observe, okay, your vegetation is primarily dependent on the majorly temperature and the rainfall. These are the 2 major factors. These temperature and rainfall are again affected by the your topography and altitude. But however, what kind of temperature and rainfall is there, it is going to decide the your primarily your fauna as well as the flora. Okay, so this would be my introduction. In the introduction, I would say India, Andhra Pradesh has the 4 biogeographic regions because of the unique climatic pattern that is present in the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so you might have heard about the name Champion and Seth. Champion and Seth said Andhra Pradesh has 5 types of the major vegetations. Okay, major 5 type of variety vegetations are found in the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so now if you can observe the question properly, it is not just asking you about the distribution of the vegetation in the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, there would be some kind of overlapping about the forest resource and the vegetation. Vegetation is nothing is overlapping with this thing, but since it is asking the question as a forest resource, instead of just sticking ourselves to the vegetation itself, we will go little beyond. Okay, the topics like say forest resource, vegetation, and the flora, all 3 are similar. We will change them slightly depending upon the requirement of the question. We will try to change the content accordingly. So we will try to understand three things here. So we will also try to understand not just the distribution of the forest resource. We also try to understand vegetation of the Andhra Pradesh. We also try to understand properly forest resource, and also we will try to understand the flora of the Andhra Pradesh, which was asked the last year. Along with this flora, we will also try to discuss the distribution of the fauna in the Andhra Pradesh. So once that introduction has been done, then we will move to the body. So for the question which is talking about the primarily the geographical aspects, okay, it is very important when you are talking about the resource. Your syllabus is divided in such a way that the resources, the mineral resource, your forest resource, the water resources, these resources are mentioned both in your geography topic as well as your economy topic. Okay, so they can ask in either way. So it is very important to present kind of map here. Now if you see the map of the Andhra Pradesh, your Andhra Pradesh government document says Andhra Pradesh has been divided into the majorly 4 major biotic provinces. Since this is mentioned in the government documents, it is very wise for you to mention these things in the answer. 4 major biotic provinces: Deccan Plateau and the Central Plateau, then Eastern Highland and the Eastern Coastal Plains. Generally there is not much variation in the Deccan Plateau and the Central Plateau. All these are the Central Plateau is also the part of the Deccan Plateau. She is basically saying this thing as a kind of Rayalaseema Plateau, the part of the Deccan Plateau. Okay, Deccan Plateau itself is a big, and we have the Rayalaseema Plateau. Okay, but let's use the statement that was used in the government documents. Okay, so we can say Deccan Plateau, Central Plateau, Eastern Highlands, and the Eastern Coastal Plains, depending upon the and these areas depending upon the rainfall. They have different vegetation. So now see the map here. If you see the map here, the Andhra Pradesh map, now this part is your Eastern Ghats. Your Eastern Ghats are the old fold mountains. They are discontinuous in nature. They are not continuous just like a Western Ghats. They are not very tall as a Western Ghats. Western Ghats themselves are not the mountains. We will discuss it some other time. Okay, then these Eastern Ghats are discontinuous in nature. They are extending from the Dodabetta to the Orissa region. Okay, so these are the part of the Eastern Ghats, and this is your Rayalaseema Plateau, the central part of the plateau, and some part of the northern part is also considered as a your Deccan Plateau, which they have mentioned, but you can consider as a central part, Rayalaseema Plateau, and these are your eastern coastal plains. Okay, now if you understand the geography here, what is the scenario? Now this part is falling in the rain shadow regions of the Western Ghats. Rain shadow region of the Western Ghats. So you will hardly receive around 40 to 60 centimeters rainfall. Your vegetation is primarily guided by the two things, temperature and rainfall. There should be abundant temperature. It should not be too high and too low. Since Andhra Pradesh fall in a tropical region where the temperature varies from 27 degrees to as high as 45 degrees, it is suitable for the good amount of the vegetation. Temperature factor is good for that. But in order to sustain such high temperature, when there is high temperature, evapotranspiration happens, right? When there is such high evapotranspiration, there is also good amount of moisture should be available. But when that moisture is not available, you will have a kind of thorny kind of forest. Such kind of thorn forest is present here. See here. So this is the dry part. So here you have the thorn vegetation. You can also write about the grass. Shrubs are present here. Now this is the part of your Eastern Ghats where you get very good rainfall. Okay, these Eastern Ghats they receive the rainfalls from the two things. One thing you might have studied in your Indian geography concept, northeast monsoons. These northeast monsoons causes rainfall in these sections in the southern part of the Andhra Pradesh and also in the northern part of your Tamil Nadu region. So this region has the dry evergreen forest. Okay, and in the coastal areas you will have the littoral forest. Okay, these coastal areas and these parts receive decent amount of the rainfall, and whenever there is actually the rainfall is not present, you will find the shrub variety. So you don't have to actually by heart perfectly this thing exact map. It's not necessary. You can simply do the two things. Here you can mention the thorny vegetation. Here you can mention some parts of north as a grass and shrubs. You mention this thing importantly, the littoral swamps, mangrove forest, and this thing you mark it and mention as a deciduous forest, and the south part, especially this part, you mention it as a dry evergreen forest. Okay, this is the thing that you have to remember. Now if let's go a little bit deeper. So according to the Champion and Seth, there are 5 types of the vegetations in the Andhra Pradesh. But let's see vegetation or forest, or I am using them interchangeably. Okay, so if you see the division of the vegetation, you have the distribution of the forest the topic at the national level as well. This is present as a part of your APPSC syllabus. So your vegetation or forest resource can be divided into primarily into 2 subdivisions. Firstly, tropical variety and the extratropical variety. Within this tropical variety, you have the moist and the dry variety. The moist variety means areas where you have the very good rainfall. If you see this thing, rainfall and vegetation are both are dependent on the both are linked with each other. When there is very good rainfall, you will get the evergreen forest. Such kind of evergreen forests are found in the Western Ghats region. Your Eastern Ghats part does not receive such a level of high rainfall of 200 and 250 centimeters. So you will not find such kind of evergreen forest. You will find generally moist forest, dry forest, and thorn forest. These are the varieties that are found. in the borders of the evergreen forest you will have the semi evergreen forest. So here the rainfall will be 250 centimeters, and here is the rainfall will be 200 centimeters, here 100 to 150 centimeters, here the rainfall is here 100 centimeters, here 60 centimeters. So as the rainfall decreases, the type of the vegetation will be decreased. This vegetation is generally it is found in the Western Ghats. It is not found in the Eastern Ghats. Now if you see the classification of the vegetation, firstly now you will understand, you will be better understanding now the moist part and the dry part. Okay, moist part in the sense where there is very good amount of moisture is available, there you have the moist vegetation with and again from this only there would be dry part where the vegetation moisture is not as high as the moist part. Now in this only where the moisture is very good, you get the evergreen forest, then you get the semi evergreen forest, then the moist deciduous forest. In the Andhra Pradesh, what kind of forest or vegetation we have is, these are the 5 varieties. These are the 5 types of the vegetation varieties which was mentioned by the Champion and Seth that are found in the Andhra Pradesh. These 2 varieties, this is very high rainfall is required. Such a high rainfall is not found in the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so I have told you this is found in the especially in the thorn, grasses, shrub. These are the vegetations that are found in the central highlands, the Rayalaseema part. Okay, this dry deciduous, the rainfall is less than the actually your sorry, this should be dry evergreen. Dry deciduous comes here. Okay, even this part dry deciduous should come here. Okay. So these are the varieties that are found. So moist deciduous is found in the Eastern Ghats region where you are getting rainfalls because of the your low tropical low pressure depressions that are created in your Bay of Bengal. These depressions are guided towards this Eastern Ghats part, and so they receive the rainfall, and they also the Eastern coastal plains also receive the rainfall because of the low pressure depressions that are created in the Bay of Bengal region. So you have the moist deciduous vegetation generally in the coastal areas where there is presence of water availability all the time. Okay, in the littoral marshy regions, okay, there is some amount of water always flowing. Okay, in those regions you will find the littoral swamps. Okay, so you have to remember this vegetation. Now you cannot write just simply these things. You have to give the explanation which I have mentioned right now. Okay, how the vegetation is linked. Okay, you give this diagram and then with this diagram you try to explain this type of vegetation is present because of the particular type of rainfall that is there. Okay, you have to give the reasoning behind it, and obviously this extra tropical is not needed for us. This is the Andhra Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh falls in the tropical region. When they talks about the forest resource of the India, then they have to mention it. You have to mention it. Okay, so rainfall and vegetation. Now if they are asking you only simply the vegetation, that would be enough. Since they are asking you forest resource, okay, let's add little few more points. Okay, you will this is the forest resource. I will talk about this thing later. Yeah, forest as a resource they are talking about. So this thing I have picked up from the your Forest Survey of India, which is which releases the report of the forest resource in India for every 2 years. So we have to talk about how much good quality forests are there. Okay, actually what is the forest? Forest means where the density of the vegetation that is present in that area is more than 10%, then only we will consider as a forest. So very dense forests are found in the 1.2% of the area, moderate dense forest is found in the 8.6%, and open forest are found in the 8% of the area. So total geographical distribution of the forest in the Andhra Pradesh is 17%. When you include the tree cover also, then the forest and the tree cover together increases towards the more than 21%. Okay, recently the Forest Survey of India has highlighted that forest cover in Andhra Pradesh is increasing. Okay, so various so that's the reason the initiatives taken by the Andhra Pradesh government are very important. Okay, and then you have to also give the spatial distribution of the forest cover. Eastern Godavari region has the highest amount of the vegetation because rainfalls here in this Eastern Godavari and Vizag regions are very good. Okay, the least amount of the vegetation is forest cover is found in the Anantapur, Krishna and Guntur regions because they follow the rain shadows regions of the Western Ghats. In the forest, bamboo cover is also found in the 4% of the area. carbon stock, amount of the carbon that is found in your forest resource is 3% of the total carbon stock that is found in the India. And also according to the Ministry of Forest of Andhra Pradesh has the second largest mangrove ecosystem in the Andhra Pradesh. So this is the your forest resource. That's it. So now let's talk about more points. Let's say when they are asking about you, when they are asking you to discuss about the distribution of the flora and the fauna. So flora is nothing but the distribution of your plant species only. Okay. So here when you are talking about the flora, so the same thing. Okay, your flora and fauna is distributed based on the optimum conditions. These optimum conditions are again dependent on the rainfall, temperature, slope, and topography. Because of this, when they ask about you, ask you for the distribution of the flora and fauna, those 4 biogeographic provinces of the Andhra Pradesh it is must to mention those 4 biogeographic provisions, and the concept remains same temperature and sunshine. Andhra Pradesh, you have to mention the temperature is varying between 27 to 45 degrees centigrade. Rainfall can be divided into three provinces, okay, where the rainfall is more than 100 centimeters, and where the rainfall is 60 to 70 centimeters, and where the rainfall is more than between the 60 to 100 centimeters. Okay, so based on that you have the different types of the vegetation. We have also seen the vegetation. Now when they ask about the distribution of the flora, we will add little bit more species. Okay, we will add some kind of forest species also in this. Okay, you can mention about the teak, neem. Okay, the species are available in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, you have Dalbergia, Pterocarpus, Terminalia, Shore Tambergia, red sander variety, and invasive species. Okay, like Lanterna camera, Prosperus juliflora, mangrove species, Rhizophora. These are available. Now you may ask, sir, do I have to remember these things? You have to remember. Okay, sometimes mugging up is important. Okay, but you have to link these things. Okay, to link these things to already things we have covered. Mangrove vegetation is found in the littoral and swamp regions, right, in the coastal areas. Okay, so these are found in the in your dry deciduous forests. Various varieties of the forest are the found. So this is about your forest resource. Now when I have asked about the question, discuss the various initiatives taken by the government, some initiatives are mentioned here, but have seen the answers where the students are not mentioning about the other mentions, like say the international measures, or else measures at the national level. Okay, under the National Action Plan for Climate Change, we are also launching the National Green India Mission, where we are trying to plant more and more trees, right? We have also CAMPA under the Forest Conservation Act 1980. If you are destroying the forest, those forests should be compensated at some other place. So you have to mention about those Forest Conservation Act. It is not just this thing, right? We are also involving local participation for protection and conservation of the forest. Your Forest Rights Act 2005, it's nothing but protecting the rights of the locals. Okay, the traditional dwellers of that region, they are given certain rights. They are the people who will protect the forest. Okay, let's say Maldhari tribe in the Gujarat region, they are the one who are protecting the lions in that region. Gir lion we have. Okay, in this Gir province you have the Maldhari tribe. Okay, Maldhari tribes are people who are protecting the lions. In the same way, even in the Seshachalam forest, the local tribes are protecting the animals there. So that's the reason even these measures are also biosphere reserves. Okay, where locals are involved. Okay, to protect the natural habitat. Okay, then you have to talk about this Forest Conservation Act. Then you have to talk about the Forest Rights Act. Then you have to talk about the National Green India Mission. Then you have to talk about National Afforestation Program. Then you have to talk about social forestry, agroforestry. Okay, then you can talk about the urban ones. Okay, all those schemes that are also being conducted. Apart from this, India and Andhra Pradesh government, be it any government, we are also collaborating globally, right? In order to maintain the forest, we are maintaining the forest at the cost of development. So because of this thing, there is a mechanism called RED. under the UN. Okay, United Nations, there is a mechanism called RED and RED plus. Okay, whatever the emissions that are coming up, generally when you destroy the forest, some amount of greenhouse, whatever the carbon that is stored in the this forest will be released into the atmosphere, right? Now by conserving and protecting the forest and also protecting them from degradation, you are making good efforts. Okay, but you are doing at the cost of development. So UN has come up with the mechanism called RED and RED plus. So if you are protecting and preserving your forest, you will be given funds. Okay, there is also a mechanism called Forest Carbon Partnership Fund. From this fund, so if there is kind of protection measures taken up by any government, these funds will be transported to those things. So if you do not write these answers, your answer will look partitioned. Okay, you have to try, always you need to think from the big perspective, big picture. Okay, you have to try to write dimension. Now the question has asked you since highlight. Okay, now you have to pour a lot of content. If the question is about the analyze, I would have suggested you, okay, reduce the more amount of quantity of points and write more analysis. Okay, this is not the case. Now since I have thought, since I know anyway flora is discussed, okay, I have thought, okay, let's add up fauna also. Okay, fauna means animal species. Animal species also affected by the same thing, same rainfall and temperature. Okay, generally the few points that you have to quickly note down is, where do you find big sized animals like say elephant, tigers? These are found in the areas of the deciduous forest and also on the grasslands. They cannot be found in the areas of evergreen forest or where the thickness of the forest is very high. Okay, moist deciduous forest in these regions, if the density is very high, very dense forest, you cannot find these big sized animals like say lions and tigers. They are found, but they are generally found in the areas of the dry deciduous regions, grassland regions. They prefer these regions. Then what kind of varieties you will find in the very thick dense vegetations like say evergreen forest, or else in the regions of very dense forest regions? There you will have the arboreals like say slender loris animal. Okay, then you will have the reptiles, the animals that live on the trees, such kind of animals that you are found. Since Andhra Pradesh has both the types of the vegetation like say dry evergreen forest, dry deciduous forest, grass and shrubs, so you have the mixed variety of the animals like say these big sized animals like elephants, tigers are found. At the same time, presence of the wetlands, okay, the migratory bird species is also found. Because of the coastal areas, you will also find the migration of the olive ridley turtle from the Orissa. You might have heard or studied this thing in the prelims, where you might have studied about the Gahirmata beach, where there is a nesting sanctuary for the olive ridley turtles. Okay, so such kind of olive ridley turtles are also found. Okay, some kind of rare endangered animals and also endemic animals. These are found only in the Andhra Pradesh regions. Okay, Jordan coulter, golden gecko, slender loris. Okay, this is the arboreal animals. Okay, this is a reptile, lizard. Okay, reptiles they are found. Okay, so these are the certain facts that you have to remember. Those facts should be compensated with the concepts. This will add more value to the content. So when they ask about the fauna, you are talking about the different types of the fauna. Okay, you are talking about the endangered and the endemic fauna. Then you are talking about the big sized animals. Then you can also talk about the reptiles, housed gecko, golden gecko. These are the cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals cannot regulate their temperatures. Okay, they are generally lazy in nature. Okay, because of the good amount of vegetation we have, you have different types of the reptiles. Like say variety of snakes are found. Indian python, Indian cobra, rat snake is found. Okay, like I have mentioned, in the Pulicat Lake you will find the flamingo. Pelican bird is found, olive ridley turtle is found. Apart from this, why not to bring domesticated animals also under the fauna? Okay, you have very good variety of the Ongole bull and the Punganuru bull. Because of this thing, you have very good very good livestock in the Andhra Pradesh. You have also Jersey and Murrah variety in order to increase the milk production. Okay, Andhra Pradesh is trying to increase the milk production. Okay, and then you have the Godavari buffalo, Nellore sheep, Asil poultry. Okay, you have because we have very good amount of livestock. Our livestock is around we have 3 crore livestock. Because of this thing, Andhra Pradesh is has started this AP Livestock Developmental Agency, which will take care of this livestock and also provide the skill development and credit availability to the people who are involved in this livestock development and livestock related livelihood. Okay, so this is your flora and fauna. I have tried to put things which are not actually available at one place, all things in the one place. These are also the previous question. I hope you got a good value addition. Thank you for this.